Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. Welcome to another Monday Mastery, where I take a reading on the current energy, tap into where we were last week, and pull in guidance for how to move forward. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is a timeless message, although I will spend just a couple of minutes going over the recent solar weather. Sometimes that matters, sometimes it doesn't. And then, of course, we'll get into the timeless message. I will say very briefly relative to the solar weather, there was not a lot to speak of this past week, which is surprising because usually with a full moon or a new moon, any type of big solar, any type of big astrology usually has been coming with big solar weather, but that was not the case this past week. And so probably a good thing. We had a pretty intense moon on the 15th and we started the week with 11:11. So the intensity was sustained throughout the week. I personally loved it. I thought Monday 11:11 was amazing. So many synchronicities. I think I probably saw that number 100 times throughout the day, which is super fun. And so we kind of started with like this energy on Monday. There was still a good vibe on Tuesday. We kind of got into a little bit more of the tension intensity as we started to approach the full moon on the 15th. There was some sustained intensity, minor, relatively speaking, the days following. And today definitely feels like a letdown, which, and not in a bad way, but like a decompression kind of feeling, which is really good. I don't know about you, but there was a big push to get a lot of stuff done last week. Plenty of energy to sustain that, but it still is, it's activating for the nervous system. It's tiring for the body. So we also saw Saturn move direct last week, and a qualifying correction to last week's reading. I said that Pluto was going direct. Pluto is already direct. Pluto is moving into Aquarius tomorrow, and that is even more important than going direct. And it's really interesting to feel into this energy today, sort of that calming sense of, it's like it's kind of like a sigh, like it's done. It's done. It's done. And for those of you who are fire signs, I will say I, as a Aries sun, Cancer moon, and Capricorn rising, we have been through the thick of it. The last 16 years have been rough. Pluto is no joke. And it's interesting because I don't have a distaste for Pluto. If you look back who you were 16 years ago versus who you are today, you will see that it absolutely has powerful benefits. But that forged by fire feeling is not always fun. So take the time to celebrate. This is a big deal. This is a big deal collectively, globally, no matter what. And coming from the religious Christian background and the wagging of the finger, astrology is bad. Of course, I cannot deny that the creator of the universe put all of these planets in certain places. And I cannot deny that when the moon is full, there's big, intense energy. And when things shift in the cosmos, we feel it. And so whether or not certain sects want to say it's a problem to talk about that, I will say personally, I have learned to discern, as I encourage you to do as well. Learn to discern truth for yourself, trust your experiences, and be willing to acknowledge that these things might actually be a factor in your life. At least just watch and listen, see how it plays out for you, because of course it will impact each person differently. Not meant to be an astrology lesson today, but hey, that came through. So overall, it was a fun and interesting week. Lots of activations, lots and lots and lots of activations, lots of downloads and insights and awarenesses and discoveries. And like I said, I must have seen 11:11 100 times on Monday, but even beyond that, the numbers every day, all day long. I might look at the clock every 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes, and it's like 10:10. 10:22, 10:33, 10:44, 11:11, 11:22, 11:3. I mean, it's certainly not intentional. And it goes so much farther beyond that, timestamps and receipts and license plates and all the things. So plenty of feedback from God and the universe, the source, creator, divine, however you want to see it, speaking to us and through us. And so many things are happening. So many things are happening. I will keep going back to my beautiful friend, Lori, of Morning Gratitude, who said, we're not writing a new chapter. It's a whole new book. And I feel that palpably in my body. My entire being, without any desire or effort, knows the old world is dead. The old world is gone. The old person that you were no longer exists. There is nothing that you can do to prevent what's coming or to get in the way or to make a mistake. It doesn't matter. This is one of those rare moments where destiny and fate are at play. There are things that are happening that were designed to happen that are going to happen no matter what, and you cannot mess it up. And that's actually really good news. If you have been doing the work, the divine is so on your side, and of course, always on your side, but especially if you have done the work and committed to the path that you know you're meant to be on, the provision, the love, the support, the encouragement, the reassurance, the battle is being fought and won for you. You don't have to do much more than what you are called to. And in fact, you're encouraged to rest in those in-between times. The guidance is very loud and clear. There is a big push into the unknown. You are called, whether you like it or not. I had a moment this past week where the intensity was rough and the things I'm being asked to do are not easy. And it really called to my attention how we are taught to always take the easy way out or the path of least resistance. And to some degree, when life is flowing for you, it does work that way. But sometimes when you're undoing old egoic decisions, you're going to have to fight for your life. And that's not always easy. And so sometimes we do have to do the hard things. And so really tapping in and being connected with the divine and really listening for clear guidance to say, are you sure? Right? I had that moment of like, I don't know, this is really hard. Maybe I should not be pushing against this so hard. And I saw an amazing bumper sticker. It said, God is calling you, whether you like it or not. And that was my confirmation that while this is challenging, it's not a row your boat moment, but it is a fight for your life moment. And so I know that we're all in this together. And I hope that that serves you as much as it does me, because there are times where we can question, am I doing the right thing? And if you ask for that confirmation, you will receive it, right? There is no going back, right? Sometimes when we do want to just take the easy route, it's not even really an option. There's no going back. It's almost as if we're being carried by a wave into this new life. And yeah, we have to do the hard things. We have to make the phone call. We have to say the hard thing. We have to file the papers, whatever it is. Those are tough moments. But after you've done the thing you've been called to, you get to ride the wave, because God, source, creator, divine life will carry you into the next step, the next phase, right? This is, like I said, this is predetermined at this moment, this transition, this point in history. Whether you want to say we have free will or not is not a debate I want to get into today. But there are moments like these where this is going to happen. And that's the palpable sense that I have right now. So the question is, are you going to answer the call? You do still have the option. You can resist. You can fight against the creator of the universe. Let me know how that goes, because I can't imagine it would end well. You're only going to cause yourself more pain, more suffering, right? Pain plus resistance equals suffering. We might experience a small, pinch of pain, but if we are in resistance to the thing, we keep getting pinched, it's causing the suffering. We don't have to suffer. We can have momentary moments of discomfort without suffering. It is the resistance that causes your suffering. And it's hard. It's hard. Sometimes you have to surrender into and fall into and melt into, like a puddle, something that is very painful and difficult and uncertain. But we have to learn to hold ourselves through that discomfort. That's the hardest part, is for those of us who've experienced complex trauma, we feel like we're going to die. We feel like it's going to overwhelm us. It's going to overtake us. I've had those moments in my life where I thought, I can't sustain any more pain. But the truth is, you can. You can, especially if you learn to utilize trauma spotting and somatic healing and empty your cup so that you're not holding on to so much trauma, so that you have capacity. But you can get to a point where you can sustain. You can do the hard things. So to some extent, it does require a high level of discernment to be able to feel into the nuances, into the fibers of this being, and figure out, when do I do the hard thing versus when do I choose what is choosing me? How do I recognize an open door versus a closed door? It's really important to choose what is choosing you. And sometimes that does look like ease and flow and open doors. But sometimes, especially when you're trying to break free from a toxic situation, it can be a relationship, it can just be the culture and society that you live in. Toxicity is always a closed door, even though it looks like it's open. Because, yeah, that abuser will call you back in. Sure, come on back. Happy to abuse you some more. That looks like an open door, but it's not. That looks like the easy way, but it's not. And so you really have to feel into the discernment in your body, tapping into your heart, talking to the divine through your heart, asking your body, if I take option A, what does that feel like? And feel it. Your body will speak to you. And then ask, if I take option B, what does that feel like? And one will feel good and one will feel like crap. And that's how you know the body speaks. The body is wise. The body is the temple. Kingdom of heaven is within. The divine animates your autonomic nervous system, causes your heart to beat and your lungs to breathe. You could not be closer to divine guidance in every single moment. So learn to discern, right? And then get the guidance and take the action immediately. This is part of our challenges. We tend to we call in guidance. We ask, intuitively we receive something, and it's always the first thing you hear. And then everything after that's the rationale, the ego, the fear voices that want to come up and try to figure it out and make it all make sense and make it logical and linear and manipulate and control. It doesn't work. Ask for the guidance, take the action immediately without second thought. And then after you take that action, you get to rest in stillness and certainty. Because that level of certainty will grow, that level of confidence in yourself will grow the more you do this. Call in the guidance, take the action, rest in certainty. Call in the guidance, take the action, rest in certainty. And that rest in certainty is necessary because that's the letting go, right? We're not attached to it and clinging to it and holding on to it and hoping it works out the way we want it to work out. No, I trust the divine. Thy will be done. Right? If I'm on your path and I'm following your guidance and I know that I can trust you, then I have nothing to worry about. It's all taken care of already. Right? It's already done. That's the certainty. It's already done. Right? And I have such a beautiful example. I won't tell the whole story here, but I will tell it soon because I'm getting a lot of guidance around telling more of my story, but I don't want this to get too long. So long story short, in the corporate world, decided I wanted to step onto my purpose path, asked for a vision of what my future would look like. And I received a vision of a long table with a lot of children. And they were basically very grateful that I had helped them by creating a space where they could thrive and become who they were made to be. And I now see that as my goosebumps, my life purpose path towards building a more nurturing educational environment, which would incorporate, of course, mental health and trauma education. So that's just a piece of it. But the other piece, and what's important for us today here, is I asked for the vision of what my life would look like when I had accomplished that. And I've always had Cancer Moon, loves her home environment. I had this beautiful image of a 3-story home on the side of a cliff, a walkout basement that faced the ocean and a sunset. And so in my mind, I felt, well, that must be the West Coast, the sunset. And my life purpose path is leading me the exact opposite direction. I'm being called east. Who would have known I might be an East Coast girl? I never thought of it. And it kind of felt like, okay, well, this is a detour, right? This is not the final destination. Obviously, the sun sets over there and I'm going the opposite direction, so it couldn't be. But that's okay. I trust. I say yes, and I move the way I'm called. Until I discover that even on the East Coast, there are certain beaches that jet out at just the perfect angle to experience both a sunrise and a sunset. And so it just goes to show that if I had clung to, it must be California, it must be San Diego, it must be, then I would be limiting an unlimited creator of the universe. But because I opened up and I said, okay, I trust you, and I'm going to follow the action you give me, I am being led exactly where I need to be. And it doesn't happen quickly. I got that vision 18 years ago, 16 years ago, 16 years ago. How about that? Pluto and Aquarius, Pluto and Capricorn, right? So let go of expectations, let go of what you think it should look like, let go of fear, let go of trying to control things and make things happen. This is a problem with manifestation versus creation. You are a creator. You are made in the likeness of your creator. You are meant to create the vision that you are gifted, right? Following the guidance of the desires of your heart that leads you towards your purpose, because you don't desire everything. You desire what was made for you, right? But letting go of what that looks like, letting go of how that comes. And when we try to manifest things, we are efforting, we are controlling. That is ego consciousness. We have to learn to rest into our heart, listen to the divine speaking through the body, and take that guided action, trusting in every moment you will be led towards something amazing. The divine does not want you to suffer. And the best part about all of that is I got the vision and I thought I knew what it looked like. But the divine knew all along exactly what I wanted, even though I thought it looked like something different. This thing I'm being called to is not only a beautiful home and luxury and beautiful surroundings, but also purpose, service, making the world a better place, doing something that matters, doing the thing I came here to do. But we have to learn to listen. We have to learn to follow the guidance without delay, right? I also got the question, are you making their job easier or harder? And I think they is, source and all of the beings assisting us, but especially the angelic realm. And Christ was kind of what was coming through with that is like, we can make life harder for them or we can make life easier, right? So if I'm making egoic decisions, I'm going down the wrong path. And so they got to keep bringing us back, right? They got to keep fixing and sweeping up the messes that we leave behind. We can move faster. We can experience less pain and suffering if we just listen and follow, right? It really does come down to trust. I love the awareness I received this week. One of the biggest blocks for me for the longest time was believing, because I grew up in that religious upbringing, I had a belief in an angry, vengeful God that wanted to punish me, or that was going to punish me, or that was going to allow me to suffer. And I will never forget the verse that came to me. It's probably one of the few verses that I can, give the name and verse numbers to, is Jeremiah 29:11. It says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, to give you a hope and a future." And of course, that just explodes the potential, right? I get out of the way when I start believing that my creator loves me and is going to provide for me, and wants not just to provide for me, but to provide abundantly. There was another verse that says that he wants to give us the finest wine and satisfy our needs with honey from a rock. Wild honey from a rock, right? The finest wheat. And if you think about, put it in context, right? So when was this written? This was written when fine wheat was a luxury, right? It was valuable. So that could essentially be read as giving you the guidance, or giving you the desires of your heart, giving you beautiful things. It's okay to want to live a good life. The tide rises all boats. Coming back to Jeremiah 29:11, it dawned on me, I probably read around Monday, the 2 + 9 is 11. And so that verse is numerologically 11:11, right? And what does that mean? It means monitor your thoughts. What are you creating? Look at what you're thinking, look at what you're believing, because your beliefs create your reality, right? Remember to follow the guidance of the desires of your heart. Learn to listen. It doesn't mean do what feels good. It means listen to the heart and follow its guidance. Listen and do. And it may not always seem logical. Many times it doesn't. That's in fact how you know that you're on a divine path, because that logical path is egoic consciousness again, right? We have suffered because of our egoic decisions. That's why we suffer, because we're not listening. We're trying to control and manipulate and force and make things happen. That's where the suffering comes from, right? So remember, watch your thoughts, watch your beliefs. Can you believe the divine wants good for you? Can you believe that your life purpose path will lead you to the finest wheat and wild honey from a rock? Again, that's pointing to the illogical nature of this, right? honey from a rock doesn't make sense. We are not living in a logical world, right? We live in a spiritual world. They just didn't teach us that, right? So really look at your beliefs, and can you surrender to being forged by the fire? Can you surrender to being forged by the fire? Because if you're anything like me, you've got a big dream, big desires, big, beautiful life waiting for you. But again, if you're anything like me, I had to go from mouse to lion. I had to go from passive, people-pleasing, over-giving, fawning, take advantage of me, whatever you want, just don't hurt me, mousy little girl, to a powerful woman who's not going to take any crap. And I had to be forged by the fire to become that person. It's not fun. It's not fun. People want to sell you the Kool-Aid and go, oh, it's going to be amazing. You're going to make $1 million in 6 months. Good luck. I hope. Let me know if you do. Few and far between. If you really want to become fully self-actualized, you really want to become all the divine made you to be, commit to the path. And I promise it'll be worth it. Sometimes I'm like, I know my messages need to be more uplifting. I try not to be Debbie Downer, but I want to be realistic. I want you to understand. Because realistic expectations mean you're not going to quit, right? This is a 10-year game, right? Or a 3-year game, not a 6-month game, right? So really look at your beliefs, because the belief is everything. You have to believe to be able to receive, right? And it's those sneaky beliefs that hide in us that keep us stuck, that hold us back, because many times they're subconscious and even bodily conscious, meaning not cognitive, meaning something in my previous life, previous experience was so powerfully emotional that it ingrained a belief in my bodily memory. And so while I know what I should do with my smart brain, I want to move into this next phase, and I know the things I should do, but I can't get myself to do them. That's the bodily memory that's holding you back. This is why the beautiful gift of trauma spotting is so life-changing. You literally become a new person with a new identity and a new set of beliefs in minutes, hours at most, right? So cognitive behavioral therapy tells us beliefs lead to thoughts, thoughts lead to emotion, energy in motion, your frequency and your vibration then become your actions, which is your affirmations and affirming the beliefs. So we've got to get at the root cause, which is those beliefs. Find those hidden beliefs that live within you, in your subconscious or in your bodily awareness, your bodily memory, so that you can finally start to step into your purpose, onto your divine life path. Remember that desire plus non-resistance equals the desired result. So the non-resistance piece is the trick. That's the hidden belief. So I can desire it, but somewhere in me, there's a part of me that believes it's not safe, or there's some sort of pain that will come with that, or it's better to just stay where I am. And that's where we've got to get into the body and utilize somatic healing like trauma spotting to get at those beliefs and rewire those programs, close that loop. The body is a divine messenger. The body is a beautiful, beautiful gift who knows how to heal you. We just have to learn how to listen and set the stage. So many times things like money beliefs are not, it's illogical, right? You would never think, oh, I struggled to manifest wealth in my life because my father punished me frequently and told me I was a sinner and shameful. And therefore I developed a belief that means I need to be punished. And that's in my bodily memory. And so I punish myself by not allowing myself to receive, or not believing I'm worthy, or whatever these things are. So it's multifaceted, many, many layers. All right. And this is why I'm putting on a live masterclass to teach you how to find your hidden beliefs, how to work with the body, how to get in there and identify these things that are holding you back. Because I think this is the single most important skill, life skill, that we collectively as humanity need to learn right now, is identifying the beliefs that live in either the body or in the subconscious, learning how to work with the parts so we can close that stress response and reduce the need for that belief, so that then you can imply a new, more resourceful belief. Just like you brush your teeth and you shower, you need to cleanse your emotional body and rinse out this old junk that holds you back. This is why we struggle to create the way we know we can. And I know if you're anything like me, you have that subconscious knowing, even when the manifestations aren't working, there's something I'm missing. This is supposed to work. This is how we're made. And when you do finally learn how to do this, you learn how to find those beliefs that get stuck in you, you will see the evidence very, very quickly, and you will become a new person. And of course, you don't manifest what you want, you manifest who you are through your identity and what you know with certainty you deserve. So check out the link below. I did get that up and running this weekend. Thank you for those of you who said you'd love to join us. We will be live on November 22nd at 11:11 a.m. on a Zoom link. You can jump into the waiting list or whatever. You can sign up today and you'll receive an email with the Zoom link so you can join us live. There will be a Q&A. Who knows, we might be doing a little bit of a demo or something. If I can get somebody to volunteer, I'll help you work through something live so everyone can see it as well. All right. I love you so much. I'm so excited to do more stuff like this. If you have ideas for other master classes or other challenges that you need help working through, let me know, because trauma spotting is really proving to resolve a lot of our limits and blockages. So I'd love to support you in that way. All right. I love you, my friends, and I will see you on the next one.